Yes, I'm doing fine.
It's a practical form of telepathy called subvocal speech, and it's being developed by Chuck Jorgensen at NASA's Ames Research Laboratories.
When we perform the task of speaking to somebody, what happens is our brain sends a signal to the muscles that control our vocal cords and our tongue. Those signals themselves provide information, and they correspond to the words that we hear auditorily.
Our brains send us these signals even when we keep our mouths shut. And Dr. Jorgensen has figured out a way to retrieve them.
In order to capture subvocal speech, the first thing that we have to do is to catch the tiny electronic signals that will be going from Rebecca's mind to her vocal system. These are called electromyographic signals.
The signals are picked up by electrodes planted on the skin.
The electrodes basically look like this. They're tiny little pads, much like you have in a doctor's office. So if she said the future out loud,
The future.
we have the signal that's corresponding to that muscular activity. But with subvocal speech, she doesn't have to move her mouth. She could say that word silently. So she would say the future silently. Here she said the future, but she didn't move her lips. And you can see that there is still the same signal being picked up by the electrodes underneath her throat.
Once the electrodes capture the signal, they can be transmitted, as if through a cell phone, to someone with an earpiece receiver.
So the newer sensors are the size of a dime, and they're going to continue to get smaller. In the not very distant future, we see them being embedded in clothing as a matrix of sensors.
Eventually, the technology will be virtually invisible. Two people equipped with the same sending and receiving devices will literally be able to talk to each other without moving their lips. And that kind of covert conversation could change everything we know about communicating.
What should I say?
Don't answer that question.
There's many situations where saying something out loud isn't necessarily optimal.
Wait for my go. Wait for my go.
This techno-telepathy can be used by rescue workers or police to silently coordinate their movements.
Hang back, hang back.
But more practically, you could make a silent phone call during a meeting.
What time is dinner?
Or tell your date at a boring dinner party
Let's go home.
without insulting your host. But like most new technology, it could also be exploited. Students could use it to share answers on a test.
The answer is C.
Or poker players to gain unseen advantage.
He's bluffing.
However subvocal speech is used, the future of this silent communication is closer than you think. And it's not only fellow humans who will hear our thoughts.
We can actually move a robot around using subvocal commands. For example,
Move forward.
Machines will also be able to respond.
And move left. Good boy.